Bum, 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 bum. Good. Love to see that axe skill going up. Let's just put that there. I don't know why I didn't before. Oh yeah, save. Woo, okay. You watch, we're gonna run into something terrible, and I will be very glad that I saved, because now we're gonna get our ass handed to us. Man, that blaze attack is mean. Oh crap, bad breath, if I remember correctly, is also a very bad one, because it puts on a lot of status ailments. Maybe. Dun, dun, dun. More Hellfire. I'm gonna use that in the next fight. Yes. Okay. You can attack, and you can use Hellfire. Where is it? It is... Oh, here it is. Deals fire damage. I thought it dealt air damage. Oh, it's just fire 5? That's it? Really? Okay. Whatever you say. I guess you wouldn't want it to be too overpowered in case you find one, like, early on in the game. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know your thinkings, Final Fantasy II. I'm not going to judge. At least not too harshly. Lovely stamina increase. I'm going to ignore that door. Arctic Wind, that obviously does fire damage. Fuck. So let me just confirm, are these actually the minions of Hell, or are these just kind of the enemies chilling out outside of Hell? I kind of get the feeling that they're just outside of Hell. This doesn't seem like Hell to me. Oh shit. Don't be punching Felix. He would not survive, guy. Please do not be punching Felix. I haven't noticed anything too terrible about these mega parasites yet. I don't really think they've gotten that many chances to attack, if any. My god, we're getting so much money from this. So wait a minute, what level of Hell are we on right now? Let's just go by the assumption that this is Hell. I used to know all of the levels of Hell via Dante. The first level was the one where they're all in the blind castle with all the lights turned off. The next one, if I'm not mistaken, was Lust. And then Gluttony. And then... Greed, I think it was? And then Anger. And then Heresy is 7 or 8. I can't remember what 8 was. Maybe it was Heresy. And then I remember I specifically remember that being a hypocrite is really bad. Like, being a hypocrite is way worse than being a murderer. At least according to fucking Dante. Like, if you're a murderer, you're on level like 7 or 5 or whatever, but if you are like a hypocrite, you're on level like 8.2. And then level 9 is the Betrayers. At least that's as well as I can remember it. Ooh, cat claws. Oh no, not a blue dragon, it's Blue Eyes White Dragon. Jesus, this is gonna be bad. Bad news all around. Shit. Guy, don't mess around. You know, I haven't had you berserk in a long time. And I keep forgetting you don't have any magic. Boop boop. I really should be using ethers more often in battle, since they do more, you know, they boost more magic, I think it does. Good. Only the boys are allowed to hit hard. The girls, not at all. What a sexist asshole. Oh my goodness. Only the girls are allowed to hit hard. Quick, heal me! It's sad because it's true. Get up, your dumbass brother. My goodness, this blue eyes hurts so bad. I still can't believe we're only at life 2. Probably as your magic goes up and all, like in life, as your life magic goes up more, you probably, when you revive them by a certain percentage of their overall health. So this is at like, what, 9%? Ah, life level went up. Good. Got a lot of leveling from that. There we go. We'll try to use some, wait, what level are we on? B2, okay. So right now we're in the Lust level of Hell. And it's actually a really interesting reason why Dante put Lust on the second level of Hell. And that's because, maybe, no, you know what, I think Thieves might have been either 3 or 6. I can't remember. But anyway, while we're on the topic of Hell, just Dante put the Lustful at level 2 of Hell because it's funny, because he thought that was the least worst crime you could do sin-wise because it was the emotion closest to love, which is pretty weird. I don't know. Dante's logic is really odd. And it's even funnier that he got so famous for writing this hell poem because, well, it's actually a somewhat interesting story because the whole story revolves around numerals of 3. He's very smart that way. And the whole reason why he even started writing this book was because he didn't like the Pope at the time, and the Pope pretty much said, "Hey, listen, asshole, I'm the Pope," and back then, that was when the Pope was like judge, jury, and executioner. That was when the Pope was basically the king. Because he was God's quote-unquote right-hand man. Fuck you, Kent. The Pope basically said, "Okay, Dante, listen up. You've not been supporting me at all. Here's your 3 options. Either option number 1, I'm gonna kill you right now. Option number 2, you can be imprisoned for life. Or option number 3, you can get kicked out of your hometown of, I think it was Florence? I think it was Florence. You can get kicked out of Florence forever. You never get to come back. Take your pick." And he chose, quite smartly, to never come back to Florence. And so he was exiled, and while he was exiled, he wrote his little funny story about what happens when you go to hell. And it got really popular, and he even put the Pope that he really hated on level like 6 or something like that, which was really outrageous. So basically, the whole Dante's story is basically just a big middle finger towards the Pope. At the time. I can't remember what the Pope's name was. It was blah blah blah, something like the 16th or something. So, but the funny thing that people don't realize about Dante's little story is that he didn't just write it, you know, for the whole hell reason. He also wrote it because the whole story revolves around him trying to get to talk to God, and he can't get up to God on this big hill because of these 3 lionesses. These 3 animals that represent all of his sins, so he's got to go through hell with his buddy Virgil, who was a poet. He's got to go through hell to get rid of all of his sins, and then he can go up the hill, and then he can talk to God. And I can't remember. I don't even think, because we studied this in my high school history class. Well, not history. We studied it in my English class, because it was a world literature class. And I feel so bad for that class, because, like, we were learning about medieval, we read about Gilgamesh. We read the whole Gilgamesh story. We had to do essays on that. Then we did the Dante story. And while we were in that time period of, like, transitioning from Gilgamesh to Dante, my teacher, who was a fantastic teacher, this guy was funny. He was really interested in having us learn for the sake of learning. But he wasn't like, I don't know, he was just a really cool guy, and I really looked up to him, and he made reading and learning fun. And I felt so bad because there were some kids in the class, and we were all seniors at the time, so we were all like 16, 17, 18, whatever. And he said, okay guys, because we're studying all these ancient stories and stuff, we're gonna watch a movie, and it's not really, you know, historically accurate by any means. Oh god, we're getting hurt by the waterfall. And he's like, okay, we're gonna watch 300. And I will advise that it does have nudity, and it does have this and that, and you can, if you don't want to watch it, you can feel free to go to the library, you can talk to me after class. If you don't want to, like, if you're embarrassed that, oh, you think all the other kids are going to make fun of you, then you can just talk to me after class, and you just don't have to... Scissor Jaws. Ooh, that's a mean-sounding name. He basically said, okay, you know, you don't have to be here for this, because I know it's a pretty risque movie. It's got violence. We're showing the uncut version, so yeah. And first day, a lot of the kids showed up. A couple of them didn't show up, but we didn't really care because, you know, it's their choice. We're not really going to make fun of them, for God's sakes. And at least I wasn't going to. And they all showed up, and we watched like the first half. And then the next day, the fucking next day, he comes into class and he's like, okay guys, I got bad news. Somebody in the class went to the principal, and I got yelled at basically because the kids in the some kid in the class, or two kids or whatever, went to their parents, and the parents complained to the principal that they are watching 300 in the school and they're not learning anything. And he would actually, the teacher would pause the movie and say what was accurate and not accurate, and he would go into the history of all that because he was interested in the story. Ooh. Interesting. Look at you. That looks like... Oh, no. You are mean. That looks like the worst kind of cake that you could ever give. Looks like a toothpaste eyeball thing. God. Anyway, so he's like, okay, somebody in the class, I'm not gonna say who, I don't even think they told him who it was. Somebody ratted me out, and I got in big trouble, so we're not going to watch that. We're not going to watch anything. We're going to go back to the material. And you could tell he was pissed off. And the guy's like 65, 70. And he's like, you know, I thought I could talk to you guys as adults. I thought we had an understanding of you didn't have to watch the movie if you didn't want to, or if your parents might thought it would be inappropriate. And I really thought we had, you know, he talked to us man to class, man to man. And I felt so bad for him, because you could tell he just got chewed the fuck out for showing us that. And I felt really bad, because that was like his last year, too. That was his last like, after that class, after my class, he was retiring, and I just felt so bad for him. And it doesn't look like we're gonna walk out of here with over 70. That sucks. So, anyway. I just wanted to relate that since we were talking about hell and, you know, Dante's Inferno and just... And, you know, I'm pretty sure I know who it was, too. Because there was always these, like, more reserved Asian girls in the back who would never say anything. They would never even say anything, even if they were called on. They would just kind of mumble something, and, you know, it was really awkward because he'd, like, really... hang on to them like, hey, come on, you gotta talk, come on, you're part of the class, you need to get this participation thing, and they would just say nothing, and it was just so awkward, and you could tell they really hated being in there. Not really because of him, but just because they didn't like, oh my god. What does that say? King Behemoth? How the okay. How does the King Behemoth end up being inside this thing? How does a King Behemoth fit in that little tiny treasure chest? What the... I'm confused. And a little bit pissed off now.